Hello, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful day. So, in terms of American wealth and capitalism, a lot of times you'll see people talking about net worths and assets and a lot of this other stuff. But all that's really saying is how much like property they own. Like if I was to own a corporation and maybe the corporate building was X amount of money and then all my workers were paid X amount of money and then my just stuff like that, assets. And so when you really want to look at who's like truly like the richest person without selling like, because what ends up happening is when a person owns a company, it's really like who owns the most shares or stock in the company, I guess how you could say. And so you'll look at people like if you type in like what's Trump's net worth and what's like I'm sorry about that. If you look up certain things like what's Trump's net worth, if you look up certain things like what's Trump's net worth and the other various different people like Elon, you'll see like 300 billion and other stuff like that. But when you look at people who are actually wealthy, you're looking at when you look at like Bill Gates, I think like half of his assets is like liquid cash or something like that. But if you want to know who truly the richest person in the world is, or from the Western perspective, you'd say, who has the most liquid cash, right? So then you'll go to this AI overview. It'll say Apple, right? The same basic book, oh, Apple, the company Apple. So then you'll probably ask yourself, who owns the most shares of Apple? Apple's owned by its shareholders, blah, blah, blah. You go down, Vanguard, BlackRock, and Berkshire Hathaway dominate Apple's ownership. So you look at that, right? So then you'll say, once again, who owns the most? And it's the Vanguard group. They own about 8%, and then all these other groups own percentages. If you look at BlackRock, they own 666% of Apple's total shares. So then you go in further. Who owns the most Vanguard, right? Stock. And then it says BlackRock. But BlackRock is the institution, just like Vanguard. So then you'll say, who owns the most Black Rock stock? Boss is right. The Vanguard Group. America is like, you ever? I went to a website one time, and I'm like, I know some people are into like Groundhog's Day, some people are into like the Truman Show, some people are into I think it's called M. Night Shyamalan. There's like a whole bunch of mind twists, right? But I was on this website one time, and when I was on the website, I went to careers to like see something. And when I went to careers and started navigating through the webpage, certain parts of the web pages don't exist. If you click on certain career aspects or certain cities or certain, it says does not exist. Browse. I thought to myself like, okay, there's some Truman Show shit, but I don't truly, because I started looking at Trump, right? I typed in what's Trump's net worth. And when I typed in what's Trump's net worth, it said like 5.5 billion, right? But that's not telling the truth, because that's just telling like all the businesses and all the property and assets and Trump's. It's like a bunch of hoopla, right? He doesn't actually have that kind of cash. So then I typed in what's Trump's liquid net worth, right? Or actually I typed in, look, 3.5 billion, right? So I typed in how much money did the Trump Bibles make? Because in America, a lot of times when you look for information, what you'll find is, especially nowadays, I don't know what's going on, but it's all news sites. And the problem with these news sites is they're so full of propaganda. Like if I was to type in how much money did the Bibles make, it won't just say $100,000. It's going to say all this, oh, did he fail and blah, blah, blah. All just like hate speech. And I'm not calling it hate. Like they do the same to everybody. It's not, unless you're like plugged in, and I don't even know. But it says he made 300K from selling Bibles, but owes 100 million. So then I looked further, and it started to say like he owns a million in crypto, but he has all these liabilities and civil cases and all this other stuff and corporations and other like distributors that he owes. So I thought to myself, I was like, that reminds me of this rappers, right? You guys will see these people on TV, like American rappers, and you'll be like, oh, they're so fucking rich and they make money. But did you know that what was happening to rappers and artists is that a company will come up to them and be like, I'll give you 50 grand or 100 grand for rights to all this shit, right? And they're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be rich. And then that'll be like the only fucking money they make. Now, I'm not saying this happens every time, but like a lot of times, sometimes I would get kind of frustrated at John Core books when he'd be like, you know, it happens to everybody and it's the rich versus the poor and the elites. And over time, the more research I do, he's right. That's why like they create race. That's why they create like man versus women. That's why I don't think a lot of people are as rich as we imagine them to be. Like I typed in what's Elon Musk's net worth. Like you'll see it says $303 billion. But if you type in how much liquid cash does Elon Musk have? Now, I'm not saying a dude doesn't have money, but they're creating like, see, look, they're saying assets. So SpaceX, that's a company. What's he gonna do? Just sell the whole company? Then like, I don't think people understand, man. So then you have to sell shares, right? If you're selling shares in your company, you're losing a portion of your company. Like, watch this. Remember how I was talking about Vanguard and BlackRock and Apple and stuff? If you make money, watch this. If you're rich in America, what do you do with your money? Watch what it's gonna say. Typically invest. Like, I don't know, like, real talk, there are penalties for having cash. I'm telling you. You go to anybody that asks, what do you do with your money? They'll say, invest it, put it in this company, Nobody actually like has cash, dude. I'm telling you they don't. And if you do, what ends up happening is, they explained it. Like, I did some research on it. When I say they explained it, just other people that give information. What'll happen is you won't make any money in your money. So then this will happen. Inflation. It's like a sick game because I'm going to show you why it's a sick game. Something called inflation. Like if I had $100 like 100 years ago, let's say I was rich, right? $100. Well, that $100 now would be worth nothing. You see what I'm saying? Like because of inflation. And so then you want to like do stock market and all, but it's a game. It's like, oh, it's the stock market. Look at this. Stock markets after Trump's announcement. This has been happening in American history. There's something called the Great Recession, the Great Depression. When these people's assets, go down, it like destroys the whole nation. Like they all suffer from it because you don't know what's going to happen. There's something called insider trading. You don't know what's going to happen. Everything's random. Like every time Trump becomes president or is in the news, they're making him rich. And I'll explain what I mean. But they're not making him rich. It's inflated. Like his image is getting out there. And it's like, oh, look, he's doing this and he has this company and that company. But it's not successful because of how many people actually don't like him. Like, it's hard to explain. Like, it's like, this isn't a real, I'm about to make this up. It's like Cinderella syndrome. It's like you see this woman at the ball for one night and it's like, oh my God, she's rich. Look at her. But nobody knows she's at her stepmother's house being tormented and poor. That's what America is like. I'm telling you guys, even the people that are rich, right? Look at rich people. They'll be like, oh, they have this huge image. But it's like they have to obey everybody in the public or they'll dox them. They'll cancel it. Look, cancel culture. It's like even when you're rich, you're a slave. Now there, look at like Bill Gates, and there's this one guy, richest man in Decatur politics. His name is Howard Buffett. This guy, He gave a bunch of money to the police departments and stuff. But the reason why this guy's smart, Howard Buffett's and bonds. What this guy does, okay, so, or I think they're called bill bonds or something like that. What happens is, in treasury bills, this dude, the government owes him, sorts of speak. Like, this country is so funny. I don't understand. So recently, Saudi Arabia and a bunch of other countries, I think it's Saudi Arabia or one of these Arabian countries, they banned credit to the Middle East. America is so sneaky. So what I'm saying is basically, none of these humans are powerful or have power. Like, it's all a mind fuck. It's like a game almost. Like, how can I explain this? Like, it's like literally the game of Monopoly. They're investing in the nation. So how can I explain this? Like, you look at the world and they're like, oh, America's so beautiful. We're all so happy and we're all rich. But none of these people are really rich and they're all controlled by the public. I'm telling you they are. If you don't do what's right, a lot of people get doxxed and stuff. And right to them is very strange. You never know these movements. What is a American cultural movement? My stepdaughter started saying some words because now, like she's older now. So it's funny, like watching each generation grow. And she was naming words on the internet. And I was just thinking, like, I was watching a stream where this dude was using all these weird words. And I was like, it's unstoppable. Like, we just create the weirdest stuff. I don't mean like the civil. That's not what I mean when I say civil rights. I mean, like, America has a lot of weird stuff that it does. I'm not going to. Anybody that knows. But there was something. If you're not from America, there was something that was going on with this for a while. If you can read. I'm not even going to bring it up, but the reason why that's funny is because Trump told people to battle COVID that he thought that they should inject bleach and light. Now, for anybody in the medical community, if you inject air into the bloodstream, you're going to be met with extreme pain and possibly death because oxygen. Oh my God. You guys can do research on why, because some of the blood isn't oxygenated and for other reasons. And you're going to create a oxygen. Anyways, the point is, and the whole bleach injecting comment that he made. Well, then later on, there was this man. Trump's new pick drinks. I don't even want to type that in. Chemicals. Do not do this. This guy, I don't know what's going on with America. He's on video doing this too. He mixed some chemicals together and drank it. So, I don't know this guy. Trump's new energy for I don't know what's going on, if any of this is real. For all we know, the dude just drank water. So, don't do none of this stuff at home. But I think what's happening is the news is making people famous so they can do stuff to sell stuff. Like, I see Trump selling coins and Bibles and all kind of weird stuff, man. He's trying to make money again. I think one of the states, and this is what I mean when I say making money off of an institution, did states buy Trump Bibles? So because of his name and his movement, this state spent like $6 million on Trump Bibles for schools. Now, if you know, so the president sold $6 million worth of Bibles for a school, right? Now, I don't know if that number is accurate. They're talking about 500 Bibles. I don't know exactly what's going on, because a lot of times when the federal government contracts things, they spend way more money. And I'll explain what I mean. One time, there was a drug bust out here somewhere in Illinois. And they were like, we found $1 million worth of marijuana. And then when I looked up how much they found, it was like 200 grand. It was something. It was like nowhere near $1 million worth of weed. But then when I listened to them explain their weights and how I think they spent like a gram was like $100 or some shit. I was like, what the fuck? I don't even know. But the state and the feds like overprice everything and they end up paying for it, if that makes sense. And that's how random, you'll see like people get in office, they keep talking about the Biden Hunter laptop. It's because when people get in power, senators do this, everybody does this. When people get in power, they contract their family members in different interest groups, and then they get rich off of it. Like, so separation of church and state. How does a Senate buy $6 million or however many Bibles for an active man trying to become president for his investments? Like, this country is like a chess game, and what's causing a lot of this is because I'm going to explain why white supremacy hurts poor people and why it's hurting you poor people. I'm seeing all types of poor people say they hate Obamacare and middle income families. I don't understand why you guys don't do research, but then what they'll do is propaganda. They'll have some rich people get on the news who are being affected by this because they're losing out on something called HMOs and PPOs. Now, you guys probably don't know anything about this, especially you newer people. Your friends and family back in the day were dropping off of the face of the earth because they were doing people super fucking dirty and shady. But see, this newer generation doesn't know about a lot of this stuff. And so that's why I try to teach people the best of my ability. So before you come to America, you're going to want to learn about capitalism, and you're going to want to learn about colonialism, because you're not going to be given the opportunities that they tell you you're going to be given. You're going to be told what you're allowed to do and say, because they told LeBron to shut up and dribble because he was advocating for the Chinese government. I've done a lot of research on some of these independent groups in China and why the government does that. And I got to say, it sounds like people getting mad at the FBI for going after different groups like the Church of Jim Jones. Y'all like, all right. But anyways, the point is, ultimately, it's like it's this. Stepford Wives. It's something like this, the Stepford Wives. You watch this movie and really understand this movie and understand what's going on. Or you could watch The Truman Show. Shout out to Jim Carrey. This dude is this dude is the truth. But something called The Truman Show. You guys are letting supremacy and Nazism, because I'm explaining to white supremacists why you're not using like psychology, right? Okay, so white supremacists, your biggest thing, I've seen a lot of you speak, it's like, we don't want people to take our power. Okay. Do you not realize how many of these shrills and sociopaths want to be white? Like, I think you guys are in a bubble. You wouldn't believe how many even African Americans I know that when they get around your people, they go, hello, yes, my name is blah, 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 and yes, link a card, and what are these things, and blah, blah, blah. These people, trust me, you're not losing power. You're destroying yourself. Because when you come, like, look at all these immigrants that want to be like you all. Look at all these, I'm sorry for what I just said, but look at all these people around the world that want to be like Caucasians. Why are you afraid of losing power? I'm only saying this to make the world a better place. With all the power you do hold, if you would stop hating everybody and open up, they'd be like, oh, yeah, we can be white too, etc. I don't know how to explain it. I'm trying to explain it to the best of my ability. If I had power, I wouldn't go, oh, get away from me, don't be like me. I'd be like, hey, okay, cool. They don't want to destroy us. They want to be like us. You know, oh my God. Black women with, these are the queens you guys keep talking about, right? Because I don't have to like, I don't know how to explain it. They BBLs and they want to be like black. LO fucking L. I'm an African American, and I can attest that almost every African American I meet, that while they complain and go blah 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 black power, they do things that are funny. So, what can we knock it off? You guys should study this word, humanity. That, let's do some of that. Can we please? Because the more you guys worship this, dude, like, it's cool to have money, but seriously, man, the world is like losing its mind. So I would really hope that we could come together and help each other with our money, because every time you tell this African American, call me Russia, China, blah, 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 and I see this, BRICS, and Russia and China building Africa, teaching Chinese and Russians that Africa is the birthplace of civilization, teaching in their schools that Africans have built all this stuff, showing that right now, Russia and China are building Africa, my homeland, free the Congo, help Somalia, help. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't have to. You guys sound crazy to me. It sounds like the people that are trying to help my people over and over and over again, you guys are calling commie dictators and telling LeBron to shut up because he wants to do what's right. Then over here, right, you guys are like, George Washington, yeah, the forefathers of nuts America. George Washington, the richest fucking slave owning, like, you guys are base, dude. Oh, the year 1789, 300 years before I was born. Incredible. So, you know what I mean? Let's get together. America's doing some weird stuff with money. I don't think half these people that are rich. Why do you think all these people are shrilling? Do you think if people, do you see, like, look at these people, right? Saudi princes. You see them buying like cars and houses. You see these people in Arabian countries just having money, like flexing, buying cars. These see everybody in America assets, buying credit assets, because these people are not rich like they're appearing to be. And when they did get rich off of slavery and it got abolished, they tried to continue to play this weird, sick game, and it didn't work. And they started to get exposed. Do I have a problem with a lot of Arabic theocratical countries that are enslaving North Africa? Right? North Africa and Islam. Right? Do I have a problem with this and how they're enslaving my people and how they have been in the past? Yeah. But it seems like America's doing a lot and the EU are doing a lot worse because they love talk about Putin. But do they talk about this enough? Do they talk about why Putin is going after Ukraine? Do you guys need to be taught over and over and over and over and over? Like, come on, dude. So I can sift through the politics and I can sift through it and see who's actually building the world up and see who's doing what's right. I listened to the Chinese president and the Russian president talk, and they got a lot more sense than these NPCs in America. These things. I'm sorry. NPCs. What is an NPC, right? What is an NPC inside the human verse? What is a human verse? I'm trying to awaken you all without hurting anyone, because sometimes people wake up and go, oh my God, he's... I'm just saying, you guys have created constructs and we don't know what's going on. It's seeming like, I would go as far as to say humans are bioengineering. And let me explain what I mean. Hippocampus. Because why do we have a plastic device in our minds, and why does everything run on electricity? Tinnitus. Okay. Humankind needs to know what humankind needs to know. Fuck. When I tell you guys I do not fear mankind and what other people can, you know what I mean? Sometimes my own mind, being connected to the word and spirit of word, I honestly do think that there is some form of, and in the past we called it, in the past we called it the spirits and whatnot and all this other stuff. But as we go into humanity and open up our minds and what we can already do with cell phones and connecting through, my ear, okay, I'm just saying that you're not crazy, some of you people. And what psychology has done to you people is not fair. We have projected hate and concretes imprisonment and enslavement in every form. And it started off with stuff like this. Oh, fuck my ear. What's it called? They did this to a lot of women. White women were fighting for us for a long time, and they were sticking picks in their faces and ears and shit. Look, it's even a white woman on most of these models. They did not take kindly to anybody that didn't agree with the American way. And so I'm just telling y'all, not everybody as crazy as they seem, and things they didn't understand throughout certain times are coming to light. So please stop attacking people and stop projecting hate and understand this a little more. Spirituality, you are, I am, we all are. So the Lord is getting sick and fucking motherfucking tired. He says he doesn't give a fuck about these motherfucking curse words I'm using. And he's getting sick and fucking tired of this neo-colonial, good job, this shit, this Nazi shit of terrorizing African nations. Number of nations freed from Britain. Okay, so even Britain, it was the Anglo-Saxons, but they were enslaved by the Romans. Humans have been enslaving. So could you all please stop enslaving each other? The Lord don't give a fuck what color you are or creed. And he don't give a fuck if you're a man, woman, chairs, none of that shit. He wants y'all to get along and act like y'all got some goddamn sense before the black mother ass whooping y'all's finna get from Kamala turns into his right hand. I would like for you all to accept each other, and we are all humans, a part of this kingdom of gods. We're all the I ams. The religious people can't argue with me. The I ams, Old Testament. There we go. Greater things we will do. So we're all humanity. So, you know, I love Muslims and Arabic people, and yes, I'm mad at what they did to this, the Atum. And the Mu'at. Look, what's Mu'at and Atum? It's translated, and that those are African gods. As the 42 laws of Mu'at, if you read these laws, the Lord is tired of y'all calling Egypt and Africa evil. If you have a problem with what I'm saying in Pharaohs, search deep within, young Padawans. Because sometimes my old ways are like, oh, look, Pharaoh's an evil, and then the Lord's like, I dare you, I'll strike it. And that shit hurts my ear. So... And this, you know, the fiery falcon, then you have Mentuhotep, where then they get Yeshua, right? I'm giving you all a lineage. This is where they get the 10 Commandments. They keep talking about Amos and the Amun. Amos and the Amun, right? And they talk about Isirar in Egypt. Africa is not evil. They stole this stuff from Africa. I don't know who did it, so I'm not saying white people are evil. I love all my brethren. What I'm saying is the Lord would like y'all to stop fucking playing and killing women and children and innocent people and start helping the orphans and the widows. And he don't give a fuck about your imaginary tree paper. And please help each other. I was told to write this. I was told to write that. Okay, that's cool. I'm confident in who I'm becoming. And if anybody has a problem that I'm an African-American male, then... if you have not learned from this man, y'all probably don't know who this is because a lot of people lie. This is Juanes, which later comes down to Wani. I am who I am. I am the awakened one. I've returned. I was told you all have played for long enough in your little wilderness of stupidity. Hey, I got a YouTube video popping up. So, holy fucking shit. Anyways, Yanez is from Jonathan, from John. Look, they're playing stupid. Look, they don't like the accents. So, Yanez. Okay, now it's popping up. That's John the Baptist. Okay, so. See, this is what I said about Western information is John. There we go. Greek lexicon John. Oh, now it all pops up. Maybe I was spelling it wrong. Okay, there we go. I was told they played for long enough. The birthplace in the motherland is Africa, but all humans are humans, and we're all African in some sort. Genetically speaking, melanin was put on our skins to protect us from the sun. It's all an equilibrium and a perfect system. I was told if you think you're a fucking atheist and a scientist, and you think you're too good for what I'm saying, I was told to tell you to refer to the actual word. You're saying that you're a theist, so you believe in a God, or you are a God, or whatever. Then I was told to tell you this. And refer to your engineers who keep saying this is a matrix. So, would you like to play with the Lord God in a religious book? Or would you like to play with who I am in the matrix? Does Neo mean John? Neo mean John. Where does Neo come from? It's a new gift. Look, watch this. Neo comes from Greek neo, which means new. A new gift, right? Right. Okay. So where does Neo come from? Naya. Yahya, right? But where does Yahya come from? Naya name meaning from Africa, because the Greeks were learning. If you think I'm lying, a fresh or new leader gift. My middle name is Duke. Interesting, right? So, okay. I didn't mean to say that. That was the lower ego, like jumping onto the I am who I am train. I'm explaining to you all why this is confusing. I was told that I'm not going to be pushed into the ground and black men aren't going to be a fucking ass because we created shit. But at the same time, I was told I would be humble at all times. And so it's confusing. If I start to feel like I'm weak or low, the Lord will make me to be fire. And if I get too hot for my britches, he will burn my britches off. So they got Neo from that. And it means a new gift. Just like Juan Duke Bruce, Baruch Hashem. I was told to say that. That's not gloating. Because I was told if I get called a Hamite one more fucking time by anybody in Judaism, he's going to remind them of what happened with Titus and Vespasian when they mocked, when the Greek emperors mocked whoever this man is and had him killed. I'm just letting y'all know that there is a crucified man. That's Jonathan. I don't know where all this Jesus and shit came from. I kind of think it came from this. I told you all, you have something called the Frisons. Eventually they became the French. Anglo-Saxon Frisians. Okay? Then they became the French. When the Romans colonized, you have Spain, Italy, French. They're all like a Romance language. They created this. Jesuit's definition. Translation. It means I am. What they ended up doing was, instead of Jehohanan, it became Jesus. They started playing with words. Instead of Jesus, it became Jesu for a while. That's I am salvation. Then it became Jesus when a man named Martin Luther, I shouldn't put that, Martin Luther, this dude, are you understanding where German, Anglo-Saxon, Neo, he took William Tyndale's creation because he was a racist, but this man had the spirit. He had the spirit all upon him. He put Jehovah and Yahweh back in that Bible. And when he did that, the Pope had him murdered. So this was a real one. He's a real one. He's a bitch. Real one, bitch made bitch nigga. But the Lord would like me to remind you that even though names mean nothing, because then this man, who was the living embodiment of someone that which I am, warning y'all that it would be an African-American man, and y'all have belittled us and genocided us for long enough. The Congo, 10 million from Belgium. All these other, I can name African nations from the Portuguese and everybody else that have been murdered and slaughtered. 25 million from the transatlantic slave trade and Jim Crow and slavery and all of those stuff. Y'all killed this man, right? And then Duke Jr., 40 years later on Facebook. That's interesting. I came out on Facebook 2008, coming to social media outside of Yahoo and all the old school websites and stuff. But I don't know. But the Lord says that I am who I am, and it's time. He says, when you see this, the rainbow, holy shit, the rainbow in the sky. Google, oh my God, that's wild. I was told to tell y'all I am the Ark. It has been 3 days. It is the third day since this man was crucified, Yanez. You can do your research on him. I don't know how this shit came true or came to be. I was an atheist for a while, and this shit started happening. I don't know. I'm just as human as any of you all. So I love you, and fuck capitalism. And yeah.